So my very first experience with practicing meditation was about 15 years ago when my late sister's son was first diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And I read at the time my first spiritual book called Grace and Grit. And I was so moved by that book that shortly after reading that book, I spent 1 month in a Buddhist meditation center in the mountains of Colorado. And in this retreat, in this Buddhist meditation center, they had a building just for meditation. And I would go into the building every day to try to meditate. And I'm telling you, when I first started trying to meditate, I could barely even focus and sit quietly for 3 minutes without all of the rampage of thoughts coming into my mind. I mean, at the time, I thought that meditation was a joke, that it was useless. I mean, I could barely even sit quiet for 3 minutes. So Gandhi has one of my favorite quotes, and he says, faith is a process. And that's how I see meditation, that meditation is a process. So after 15 years now, from my first meditation practice to this day, now I could say that I really feel and experience the value of meditation. You know, I'm at a point in my life now where I can't go a day without meditation, and I could easily meditate for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, even up to 2 hours. And sometimes I feel so unconditionally loved in my meditation that time just flies. You know, one time I did a meditation, it was like 1 hour and 40 minutes, and it felt like, 5 minutes. And I didn't want to leave the meditation. And other times I still have meditations where I feel fearful, anxious, stressed in my meditation. And so meditation doesn't mean sitting there and going om and feeling peace and serene. And of course you can have those meditations, and that's valuable. But meditation truly really means that you are consciously aware of the now. So Ram Dass, one of my favorite spiritual teachers, has a wonderful analogy for meditation. He says meditation is like a river that's just flowing. You know, you see the river or the stream that's just flowing, and then you have leaves that fall into that river. Well, the leaves represent our thoughts. Those leaves represent our thoughts. All of these thoughts that we constantly have all day, every day, we have these thoughts. And so what's happening in meditation is that you're like the river that's flowing naturally with the universe, right? You're like this river that's flowing naturally with the universe, and you have the leaves or the thoughts that fall into the river. And so what you're trying to do in meditation is that you're just trying to have a full conscious awareness of what's happening in your mind right here, right now. That these thoughts are arising, and you just observe them without any judgment. That's important. You just observe these thoughts as they arise without any judgment. So it's neither good nor bad. And then naturally that leaf or that thought just flows away in the river, right? It naturally flows away. And so that's what meditation is really about. It's about having a full conscious awareness of this present moment, allowing these thoughts to just arise, observe them with no judgment, and then naturally let it flow away. And so when you do this process, then what's happening is you're raising your vibrational frequency. You know, we're made up of these vibrational frequency. We're raising our vibrational frequency to align with the core of who we are, the truth of who we are, which is this right here, pure positive energy of God and love. That's what we're doing when we allow these thoughts to arise and we release them. We're raising our vibrational frequency to align with the foundation, the core of who we are, which is this pure positive energy of God and love, or some people call it source energy. And so then when we return to this source energy, that's when we feel so much unconditional love, so much clarity, so much peace, so much serenity. And what I find in my meditations is the clarity. Having the clarity is what I find the most rewarding about meditation, because clarity provides so much power in our lives. You know, a lot of times we get stressed or overwhelmed because we can't see the future, or we feel confused and our mind is just chaotic. Well, that means that we don't have clarity. And meditation allows me to have the clarity. And I'm not saying that all of my meditations go well. Trust me, sometimes I have meditations where I feel anxious, I feel stressed, I feel overwhelmed. And so all I do is just observe those thoughts or observe those feelings and just let it naturally flow away like the leaf on the river. That's all I do. And if I keep repeating that process over and over again, then what happens is eventually, you know, maybe 10, 15 minutes later into my meditation, I start to feel the peace. I start returning back to my source energy because I'm aligning, I'm raising my vibrational frequency to align with my God energy. And in that state, that is when we become inspirational. That is when we have inspirational ideas and we take inspirational action, is when we align with the truth of who we are, which is God or source energy. So I believe there's a big myth about meditation, that there's a right way of doing meditation and a wrong way of doing meditation. And the right way is to sit quietly and feel this peace and serenity. And if you feel any other way, then you're doing meditation wrong. But there is no wrong meditation. There is no wrong meditation. I just want to say this to you. If you have sat there for even 10 minutes and all kinds of thoughts are rampaging in your mind, that's okay. Don't worry. It takes practice. So there is no wrong way to do meditation. You know, like I said, I've had meditations where I feel lots of fear, lots of stress, lots of anxiety. There's no wrong way to do meditation. Meditation just means to be fully conscious, aware of the here and now, to be fully conscious, aware of the here and now. So you could be meditating while you're eating. You could be meditating while you're working. You could be meditating while you're reading, while you're playing with your children. Meditation just means being fully consciously aware of the here and now, which is why a lot of people, there are people who love to do dangerous sports. You know, there are people who do dangerous sports and then they get a broken bone and then they return to doing this dangerous sports. Why? Because if you're a race car driver, or if you're jumping off the mountains, you know, or if you're doing any type of dangerous sports, you have to be fully present in the here and now. Because if you're not fully present in the here and now, what happens? What happens? You die. You die. And so that feeling of being fully present here and now is like a drug. It's so joyous. And so it's like a drug. And that's why these dangerous sports people, even though they get bodily injuries, they return back to the dangerous sports because they love having that feeling. It's like a natural drug. That's what it is. Because when you are fully present in the here and now, it's natural joy. It's natural peace. It's natural serenity. It's like a high that you've never felt. And so that's why with those dangerous sports people, they do the sports over and over so they could feel that high. And that's what meditation really is. It means being fully present in the here and now. It's not about sitting there quietly trying to feel the peace and serenity, which is always a natural byproduct, but it's about just being present in this moment with a full conscious awareness. So I've come to a point in my life where I believe that I cannot afford not to meditate. You know, a lot of people say, I don't have time to meditate. Well, I say that we cannot afford not to meditate, because if I don't meditate, And as my life gets busier and busier, I have to be more present in this moment, right here, right now. Because the more present I am in the right here, right now, the more I'm able to handle the busyness of my life. The more constructively I am able to handle situations and issues that arise in my life. So I say that I cannot afford not to meditate. And I'm at a point where if I don't meditate, then sometimes I feel the day goes wrong. You know, the day starts to go more chaotic. But if I meditate in the morning, I'm setting up my energy. I'm setting up the foundation for my energy to be in the right space. And then I can move through the day with a lot more smoothness, flow, clarity. And I can handle issues that arise so much more constructively. And I could solve problems in a much better way. So now I say that I cannot afford not to meditate, and I make meditation my number one priority in life. So I encourage you to please meditate and make it a priority in your life, because as you get busier in your life, meditation will allow you to handle those situations. And also meditating, you will get so much more abundance in health, in money, in relationships, in career, in business opportunities. Meditation just allows you to have that flow in your life. So I encourage you to make meditation a priority in your life. And for those of you who are already meditating, please share your experiences about meditation, because your comments and feedback really help me and my community at large. And if you like this video, please make sure to share it and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to visit all of my spiritual and holistic living tips, just go to my website at yinandyangliving.com. Namaste.